You bet there's a doctor in the house. You know, it's nice to try to get everybody with every scare, but it doesn't always work. Sometimes you have to sacrifice. Sacrifice? Let's look at a sacrifice, our recreation of Stonehenge.
It is written in the book of the dead that if you are to go living, there must be a sacrifice.
Real easy to do. All you have to do is make some Stonehenge stones. Actually, they were made by styrofoam. Not too hard to do. You just have to glue these giant pieces together, finish them off to look like rocks, and at night it works even better. You get any kind of altar, put a live person on there, and coming from behind the person there's a hose. That hose is connected to a sump pump, which is in a large 55-gallon or 30-gallon drum filled with water. You really don't need blood in there for a number of reasons. First of all, it's at night. Secondly, you don't want to get the red coloring on anybody, because almost anything red stains, so you don't need that problem. So water to use is fine. And then that is lastly hooked up to a foot switch. So when the guy comes out with the knife and he's going to make the sacrifice, he plunges the knife down into the girl, and all you need is some kind of fake shell for that. She can move off to the side and he can go into a spot where she's not, or you can build up a fake body around her. Anything will do. He plunges the knife down into her, steps on the foot switch which activates the sump pump, and the water, or the blood, comes squirting out. Now he can either keep a steady flow, or he can step on it intermittently to make like a beating heart. He can also reach his hand in and pull out a heart and pull it out like that. Anything works. The main thing is people love blood. The more blood, the better. And you can see from the reaction, I'm going to show you this one again a different night. The guy does it, and he gets a round of applause for doing it. So you tell me if the people love blood or not.
If you are to go living, there must be a sacrifice.
Thank you, Doctor. Here's another little lesson in advertising. Let's talk about signage. Now, when I say this, I'm addressing everything from flyers to posters to press kits, anything in print. Make sure that your signage is on the same level as your show. If you have $1 million show, then let your brochure reflect that. You might know that your show is the best, but others will prejudge you on what they see. If your flyer looks homemade, then people will assume your show looks the same. As you know, it is sometimes possible for us to get so wrapped up in our own shows that it is almost impossible for us to be objective about their impact. Remember, your audience is your best critic. Let's listen to some of mine.
Well, it's getting closer and closer, the night of ghouls and goblins and such, but if you just can't wait for Halloween to get scared to death, Dixie Watley's here with another of her Friday night wanderings to the dark side.
Or something, I'm sorry. We'll leave it at that. I'll let the other guys here scare you to death. Tonight's Monster Madness is in Malden, an unlikely place for such a truly creepy gathering. We're going to Professor Nightmare's World of Horror in Malden Center. And as you know, creepy stuff usually happens in very dark places, but in order to show you anything, we often had to turn a light on. So don't let this visit fool you. The world of horror is scarier than you think. It's just a street in Malden like any street, but wander inside with the rest of the horror aficionados, and Professor Nightmare will lead you into his creepy world. But pay attention.
This poor soul lost his guide in the dark and winding passages ahead of you. We hope you do not suffer the same fate, my friend.
So, I'm offering a fest for the gorehounds and the people who want to get the yell scared out of them, my friends.
And I'm always one to clown around and help the scare along.
Come on, let's look, let's go.
Scary indeed, but don't lose your head over it. Someone already did. There are a few familiar faces here, like Frankenstein. And of course, the Wolfman is a howl. the breathing monsters are sure to provide a scare. And Professor Nightmare also features animated horrors.
These mortals to my...
And now we must move on, my friends.
It was really scary.
It was petrifying.
It was great. It was good.
Scared the baby right out of her.
I'm just curious what you thought of it. The show.
It was awesome.
That was good, yeah. Number one. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Great, thanks.
It was scary. Oh my God.
It was scary.
Skin the girls and made them die.
I got out alive.
Remember, keep them happy and they'll be back year after year. Doctor, is that fear I smell?
You know, in a good haunted attraction, people never know when or where they're going to be scared. They're always on their guard, so it's up to you to try to fake them out. And the easiest way to do that is once again get them to let down their guard. And the best way to do that is to give them something to look at. Now look at something here that we call the crypt surprise. The people are walking up the stairs past a burial crypt on the right-hand side. There's also a giant wolf sitting to the side of it. So people see an ornately decorated crypt, they see this giant wolf perhaps guarding the crypt, and they're looking by going, yeah, that's pretty cool, that's okay, not really expecting anything else. What they had not counted on was that we had built the door on hinges and springs so that someone can be in there and come jumping out and scaring them. Does it work? It's a beauty. Take a look.
Time, bro.
Yeah, I told you it worked. Do you need more convincing than that? Here, take another look.
Oh, shit.
Step right up to the Carnival of Doom, the deadliest show unearthed. People are horrified of clowns. I can't say it often enough. Absolutely terrified. People hate clowns. And we threw together this small montage of the Carnival of Doom, both old and new. Let's take a look and see how the people react. See what I mean? People hate clowns. Now there's a lot you can do with clown makeup, but there are so many really great clown masks out there, I'd advise that you use masks. It's kind of the lid on the coffin, so to speak. I'm talking about speaking. We better get up to New England and speak to Professor Nightmare. I hear his zombies are literally falling apart.
Thank you, Doctor. But first, let me change into something a little more comfortable. Ah, that's better. Now time to show you detail heads a new trick. Let's face it, every haunted house or hayride has a cemetery, right? Well, let's improve on it a bit. We pay all this attention to creating quality headstones and props. But what about the zombies? Well, watch my little candid cadaver as he slowly falls to pieces right before your eyes. Little tricks like these can help set you apart from the competition. And it's real easy to do. Start by taking different lengths of black nylon cord and attaching them to the rear wall of your cemetery or mausoleum. Attach the other ends to the decaying parts of your zombie held on with Velcro tabs. As your actor slowly approaches your audience, he will appear to decompose piece by piece. Let's take another look. Now, for all you indoor haunted houses, try substituting an electric chainsaw, without the chain of course, for your gas-powered ones. They don't require ventilation or refueling. You can even use a circular saw without the blade. Is this effective, you ask? Well, let's take a look in my house.